Here they are, ladies and gentlemen, two of boxing's top pound-for-pound fighters facing off for the very first time ahead of their collision course. The Showdown, scheduled July 29th at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. Premier Boxing Champions presents Errol Spence Jr. versus Terence Bud Crawford, live on Showtime pay-per-view.
All right, y'all, so the first press conference went down, and I just wanted to give my 2 cents on what took place. One thing that stood out to me, between these two guys, I think this is going to be a legendary matchup. I think both of these guys are going to bring it. I still got Errol, edging Terence Crawford out. But the one thing I think that stood out between both of these guys is, if you watch the press conference, you'll see that Errol Spence is always poised, man. He's always under control. He never seems overly excited about a big moment or any moment. He's just always even keeled and leveled. And it seemed like Terence Crawford was extremely, extremely excited to be in the moment. This guy's older than Errol, and he hasn't sold as many pay-per-views as Errol. He hasn't had the spotlight as big as this on him ever. Errol's had 1 or 2 other fights that have been, big fights. Maybe not of this magnitude, but big fights. But the one thing I took away from this is the excitement level between these two guys. Errol seems like it's business as usual. I'm going to go in here and do what I'm supposed to do, get this over with, get this guy out of here. Terence Crawford just seems like he's really excited to be in the moment.
Run those numbers up. Come on, come on.
I feel like that's a telltale sign of who's kind of going to win the fight. I feel like when you're overly excited about something, you can go into a fight and you can do things that you may not have done if you were a little more calm. And you can go in with a mentality of you're going to dominate your guy because you're just excited about the moment. And you forget about the game plan sometimes. And when you look at Errol, you look at Terence Crawford, and this is just the first press conference. Let's wait to the second, and the second press conference to see how both of these guys approach the moment. But maybe Terence to calm down a little bit. But the excitement level, it's good to be excited, but coming in with that business mindset, it says a lot about you, and it says a lot about how you're preparing. You're preparing to go in and do exactly what you're supposed to do, what you've always done, and that is win a fight. Whether it's knocking your opponent out or winning on the scorecard, you're going into it to win a fight. And Errol Spence just has that business as usual look on his face, mentality, the way he talks, and I feel like that he's so focused on his game plan, he's not going to let even the moment and the excitement of the moment and the money that these two guys are going to make off this moment, he's not going to let any of that distract him from what the ultimate goal is, which is to win the fight.
I'm a man of my word, like I said. People thought I was going to move up. Just like I told him when we encountered each other in Oklahoma. I said, I'm going to get these belts on my side, and I'm going to come take yours. And, this is where we at now, and I stood on that.
Now, is that the only thing, you could take away from the first press conference? No, I think that there was an obvious size difference between these two guys. When they stand in front of each other, you can see that Errol is the bigger man. Errol is the naturally bigger man. And Terence Crawford, I will say, looked a lot more bulked up than I expected him to at this point. He already looks ready. Errol looks ready as well. But there's an obvious size difference between both of these guys. Going to Errol Spence, of course. But I don't think that the size is going to play a role. I think we're going to see a new version of Errol Spence Jr. A year outside the ring, a year to prepare for one fight is a very long time, and he has a good coaching staff and a good team around him to put a great game plan together. So I think that you're going to see a refined Errol Spence Jr. Errol Spence Jr. that's preparing to move up in weight, or Errol Spence Jr. has to reintroduce himself, because when he goes to 154, he's going to be the little guy. He's going to be the new guy on the block, the small guy on the totem pole. So he's got to bring something new to the table to make those 154, those 160 guys, those 168 guys go, okay, this guy's a problem. Maybe I should avoid him. Maybe I shouldn't fight him. Maybe, I should let this guy fight him first, or I should let this guy fight him first, just so that I don't get embarrassed. So I think you're going to see a new, improved Errol Spence. I think you're going to see an Errol Spence, hopefully, who's fixed his one flaw. And I think a lot of people know what his flaw is. His footwork isn't amazing. It's not spectacular. It's not elite by any stretch of the imagination. But he does that on purpose. He does that because he doesn't have to have quick foot movement or great foot movement to win fights. He does it with his jab. He does it with his control of the ring. He does it with his poise, and he breaks you down for 12 rounds. So he's never really had to have, the best foot movement, but I think he needs to add something to his repertoire, to his resume for this fight. He's not going to just be able to do Terence Crawford like he's done every other fighter. There's going to be a point in the fight where both of these guys are going to be skill for skill, maybe the second, third round, and one of their skills is going to outshine the other one. So, what new skill set are you going to bring to the table that makes Terence Crawford's skill sets look bad, or make Terence Crawford's skill sets look average compared to yours? And I think the only thing that he could really add that would, accomplish that for him is foot speed, foot movement. If he can be a little quicker on his feet, if he can move around the ring a little bit quicker than he normally does, than he's normally used to, I think that's something that could throw Terence Crawford off, especially for the first 2 or 3 rounds. He doesn't have to do it for the whole fight. You want to just establish yourself in the first, quarter of the fight, and whoever's the most dominant in the first quarter of the fight is most likely going to win the fight. This is a battle of skills. This is a battle of highly ranked guys. This is a battle of champions. This is, this is the elite of the elite, finally. And it's going to take something special for either of these guys to pull out a victory. I think the main takeaway from the first press conference is, the excitement levels of both guys. If you look at one guy, it looks like business as usual, and I'm riding with that guy every time. If you look at the other guy, and it just looks like total excitement, and I can't believe I'm in this moment. And that's a sign of a guy who's just happy to be there and might be preparing to get out of the sport. So, my thoughts, let me know what y'all think down in the comment section below. That like button for me. Share, subscribe. Holler at me on all social media platforms. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter. But you're more than likely to get a response on the tube, so holler at me over there. If you like to collabo, feel free to hit my Gmail. It is aflackofcards@gmail.com. If you want to feature a product on the channel, hit that same Gmail. We can make it happen. And we are
I drop CDs on the yearly. The chicks get live whenever they heard me. Some niggas I hate, some niggas I cheer me. I just wanna make sure you hear me clearly. That way I know you consider me one of the best rappers sincerely. Niggas wanna stunt like they don't fear me. On the microphone wishing that they could serve me. Trying to get in the way of my journey. That's how you end up on the gurney. It ain't about the money, then it don't concern me. I stay on the grind, nigga, I stay earning.
I got a bottle full of Remy, plus I got a 50 Henny. The vodka got me in it, but tonight I got a limit. Right now we juicing gin and ain't no spending on no women. But I pass you a bottle if you tell me I can hit it. Pass the bottle, 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 pass the bottle. I see a model, I'm about to holler. I stay smoking, choking, drinking, y'all stay moking, broken, hating. I stay smoking, choking, drinking, y'all stay moking, broken, hating.
Now niggas say they seen it all, but they ain't seen death, it seems. You want a ball, but you're more like referees. Broke niggas and you jerks especially. Think twice before you step to me. Yes, it's me, Professor Key. School niggas on how to get the cheese. Better yet, it's me, call him Chef the Key. If you're trying to eat, get a recipe. I keep it real till I'm buried. Yeah, on that fake shit, nigga, don't come near me. I got the monster squad, so I ain't worried. Yeah, on that bullshit, get took out early.
I
What's
got
up?
a bottle full of Remy, plus I got a filthy Henny. The vodka got me in it, but tonight I got a limit. Right now we juicing gin and ain't no spending on no women. But I pass you a bottle if you tell me I can hit it.
Pass the bottle, pass the bottle.